Carnage 2020 round 2 board 2. In Austria we have Brad Blitstein, England Karthik Konath, France Mario Huys, Germany Liam Stokes, Italy Michael Lotfi, Russia Ed Sullivan, and Turkey Morgante Pell. Oh my god, I love this board already.
It's so much fun, you guys.
All right, well, let's get right to it. I say that as I miss my click.
We're having battles over the here we go.
There we go.
All right, it's all yours.
Okay, so Siobhan, you are almost there. We go. You are on the clock.
Alrighty, so as we move through 1901, there's not a ton to talk about. A lot of sort of expected things happen. We see the Sunstorm opening from Turkey. As we move into fall, though, if I'm in the West, I'm looking at those Turkish moves and I'm getting a little concerned. And as we push into what is possibly my favorite season of the game, spring of '02, you see a lot of stuff happening. And that's really where we see the RT form up. And meanwhile, the West is in absolute chaos. France is going to the MAO, England is going to the Channel, Germany is going to the Helgoland Bight. Italy has decided that, oh, I took a dot off Austria and Trieste, but I'm losing it. Let me push west. And the RT's got to be looking at this moment and just salivating. So as we push forward through the game, fall of '02, the RT just chugs along, continues, nothing really in their way. I might take us all the way forward into spring of '04. And this is a thing where when you start an alliance very, very early and you decide we are going to do this, there are moments that a lot of players get really nervous about, but are very, very important for alliances. So you see where the Russian fleet moves to Bulgaria. You know, Turkey's looking at that. He let it happen. It's absolutely happening. And Brandon, can you tell me why before we see the move?
I'm sorry. Why? What is happening?
Oh, why Romania went to Bulgaria. I'm on the clock. Because they want to piff that fleet. That fleet is useless to them. So we move forward. This is just a fantastic alliance, and the West is still in chaos. They never really get their act together. And, you know, there's a lot of moments where I can go back and look at specific moves and give advice, but I'm not going to dig too far into that today. So as we push, fall of '05, what starts to happen is you see Germany start to help the RT. In small ways at first, but as we continue through, Germany is having so many problems. I think England and France are trying to work together, but you know, at this point, it's too late. The juggernaut is coming, and it's just a matter of which one of them has the chance between Russia and Turkey to take the board top from the other, and if they even need to fight to do it. Again, here you see Serbia went into Budapest. Absolutely, that was planned so that Turkey didn't have to pull a unit here. Russia could afford to give him that dot. And as we push forward, you know, Turkey has bigger problems than Russia does. And, you know, the game ends in '07, and Russia was able to take the board top at what I believe was a 10-8. And Germany lives. Turkey didn't even bother to take Vienna off of him. And so, well done, everyone. Liam, you had a terrible choice to make, but I like what you did here.
I just want to say how delightful it is for Germany to just survive on one dot, which is for which the unit is a fleet in where it ends up in Irish, right? I reveal this. I think they pull. They pulled north. Okay, right. So it's the dot is Vienna. It's not even one of their home dots, and the unit is a fleet on the other side of the board. That's just really fun.
It's beautiful, really.
There's a couple things about this game. First of all, it's just that Ed Sullivan tops board on his own, right? Like, so Ed is an unapologetic, simple alliance player. He has said the quote, "I don't have the killer instinct of a champion," and he said it with pride, right? So I'm just really happy for him that he actually topped this board alone. 12-10, I think, is a really nice it's a really nice score for Bangkok. At the minute we can flip to the end and see what it is. What's impressive here for Ed's point of view, maybe not necessarily from ours, is that he managed this without stabbing his ally. In fact, he did the nicest thing he could do, which is allow his fleet to be disbanded. So he left himself open.
Disbanded. He gave away Budapest later in the game. Yeah. You know, he was through and through an alliance player from the very beginning. So this does not mess with his reputation or what he said about himself. It's just that the board tipped in his favor.
Yeah. There's a couple things that are weird on the last turn. Like, if we can just go there and have a look. Fall of 1907. And I don't know how much this has to do with Bangkok scoring or not. But so first of all, Turkey has an option here at Budapest, whether to take Vienna or whether to take Romania. If they take Vienna, then Liam is likely eliminated. And Liam, there is a small survival bonus. It's about 3 points before the normalization. And I think that works out to just like 4 or 5 points post elimination. But the post normalization. But the thing about Bangkok is that it's not fixed total. So there's no so Liam, I'm sorry, Morgante and Turkey wouldn't gain anything by eliminating Liam. It would just hurt Liam. Mm-hmm. So I presume that's why Morgante decides to take Romania here. Also gets Morgante a few more of the sharing points because Morgante ends up within 2 of the board toppers, whereas 3 behind would not. It would have been 4 because Ed would have been at the 13. The other thing that's weird about this turn, though, is that Michael Lotfi in Italy, after all of this we just said about, go back to fall of 1907. After all this we just said about how survival matters, he just walks out of Tunis and gives up his survival bonus. Didn't need to.
I actually missed that entirely. Yeah.
Yeah. Morgante, another quick tip here, a little tactical error. You definitely should have had Naples here. And maybe that was part of an alliance agreement. I don't know, but there's no reason to hold Ionian. Use it in some way to get yourself a dot. I think you could have guaranteed either Rome or Naples here. So I don't know. It's a little confusing. We don't know about the behind the scenes negotiation, but those are the things that the gaps that I wanted to
imagine that was an alliance agreement that they said to themselves, look at the scoring system. You mentioned the 2-point spread between them. But the game's about to end. You all know it is. I don't see myself not taking Naples here.
They would have shared the board top if they had done it. It's as simple as that.
I think the one thing that I really enjoyed is it's good to see an old school juggernaut. Don't see that very often. In fact, I was listening to the diplomacy briefing podcast today, and they were talking about the juggernaut, how it's an effective alliance, but it's an easy one to see, which allows the rest of the board to kind of react to it and stop it. The West did not react in this game. And then I also really liked, hey, we had our, you made Chicago proud with the Sundstrom opening, which then turned into a juggernaut. And that is something in Chicago we have seen fairly frequently. I wouldn't say commonly, but good, I don't know, quarter of the time, Russia and Turkey are able to pull this position into something useful. But a lot of it just depends. You need some chaos in the West to make that work. So.
Yeah, I like to make this point every time this comes up because it's seen as such a nuclear option outside of Chicago. But for us, it's not necessarily anti-Russian.
Yeah, and it may not be the most efficient way to do it, but if you're going to juggernaut, it's not a horrible way to go about doing it.